Top 10 animals you didn't know could fly. With regards to flying creatures, we regularly consider the unlimited assortments of birds and maybe bats, perhaps pterosaurs from the dinosaur age. Be that as it may, development and transformation is loaded with shocks. In reality, you may not understand that flight has advanced in creatures, empowering species like fish, vertebrates, reptiles and creatures of land and water to build up the capacity to be airborne. I'll introduce that, without getting excessively specialized, by saying there's a couple of assortments of flight: controlled, unpowered and remotely fueled. However, in our metropolitan present-day world, a portion of these will come as an astonishment. Top 10 fish that hunt land animals. 10 wild turkeys. Flying turkeys, the 5th of December 2011 Thanksgiving. Sevierville, TN USA. We will in general connect turkeys more with Thanksgiving than the skies. By and large, at whatever point you see a turkey in the wild, it's ashore. So it might come as an unexpected that wild turkeys can really fly, though just brief distances. Be that as it may, when they fly at significant speed. Indeed, live science asserts that they can fly as fast as 55 miles each hour, which likens to just about 90 kilometers each hour. The key thing is wild turkeys are arboreal, which implies they perch in trees, so they must outfit there some way or another. Basically, flying is more normal than moving for these enormous birds from the class Meleagris. 733.5 k. 68. While wild turkeys can fly, those cultivated for human utilization can't. Ranchers over the long run have reproduced them to have enormous bosoms, which restrain their capacity to get off the ground. 1. 9 flying snakes. The idea of a flying snake may leave a few group froze, yet these creatures do exist, overwhelmingly found in Southeast Asia. The uplifting news is their toxin is ordinarily simply enough to hurt little prey like reptiles, rodents, frogs and birds, not people. The University of Chicago delivered a paper on flying snakes in 2015 after an investigation, and lead researcher Jake Socha, Ph.D., said, regardless of their absence of wing-like extremities, flying snakes are talented airborne locomotors. Flying snake don't fly like birds, yet rather they float by leveling their body into a pseudo-inward wing, C-shape, while making wave-like sidelong undulations, which empowers their consistent flight. The University of Chicago concentrate likewise affirmed more modest snakes fly further. All things considered, most flying snakes just develop to 3 or 4 feet in length. 2. 8 ballooning insects. Watch a expanding, creepy crawly take off. The idea of insects swelling is quite possibly the most imaginative in the creature world. It happens in numerous types of light arachnids, regularly the spiderlings. Basically, these 8-legged creatures have advanced to deliver silk strings which get the breeze like a parachute and make them airborne, similar as kiting. It's a remotely controlled technique, which is extraordinary. While most swelling bugs' excursions are moderately short, some have been known to have gone for many kilometers. They move to their most noteworthy point and catch the breeze with their silk strands. Its motivation is dispersal to move between areas in spite of the fact that setbacks are high. There's a notorious story from Australia's southern tablelands in 2015 when a great many arachnids' mass expanded, with the silk gave up, causing the field to seem like it was snowing, which is quite strange down under. 3. 7 flying squid. Flying fish? No flying squid lol. It appears to be bizarre that a pelagic animal would fly, yet a few individuals from the Omistrophidae species, also known as the suitably named flying squid, have advanced. The most widely recognized assortment is found in the waters off Japan. Japanese specialists have guaranteed that the squid can float for up to 30 meters and at 11.2 meters each second, like Usain Bolt's 100 meters run pace. The report by Japanese specialists likewise said, "We have found that squid don't simply leap out of water, however have a profoundly evolved flying stance. These squids skim out of the water, as opposed to fly, utilizing impetus prior to spreading and broadening their balances and arms into a vertical position which keeps them airborne." For what reason do they do this? The hypothesis is to keep away from hunters. Squid is regularly a key food source, so they need some defense. 4. 6 Draco reptiles. Draco Reptile takes off like a winged serpent, Planet Earth 2, Jungles, BBC 1. There's something especially charming about Dracos, albeit that dies down a piece when they take off. These small agamid reptiles, identified with iguanas, are equipped for expanding their lengthened ribs and the associating layers to make wings, the patagia, which empowers them to float. They've additionally got an optional fold on their neck to help coasting. It isn't exactly controlled flight yet for a 20 cm reptile. They can skim in excess of 50 meters, which is a reasonable distance moderately talking. They fly to keep away from hunters on the timberland floor, yet additionally to discover mates and suppers. They are very regional as well. They'll regularly coast from one tree to another to secure their region. They are nearly nothing and critical yet easy in development. However, to add to the charm, their wings are additionally splendidly colored. 5. Top 10 surreal animals that really exist. 5. Flying fish. Flying fish picked off from above and below. The Hunt, BBC Earth. There are 40 types of these marine fish which can really fly, by impelling themselves out of the water and skimming. Like a portion of the previously mentioned creatures, flying fish utilize this strategy to get away from hunters, however coast instead of flying like a bird or bat, in spite of having wing-like blades. They're normally found in the Caribbean island country of Barbados, which is known as the place where there is the flying fish. They're by and large found in tropical seas and inside 200 meters of the surface, subsequently their development to use the zone over the water level. A Japanese TV group shot a flying fish airborne other than a ship for a world record 45 seconds, beating the past record of 42 seconds, seen by American specialists during the 1920s. They can fly at paces of as much as 70 kilometers each hour and cover distances of 400 meters using drafts off waves and beating the water surface with their tail blades to remain airborne. 6. 4. Flying squirrels. How the flying squirrel soars. Public Geographic portrayed these animals as authentic paper planes. Flying squirrels can't fly like a bird, yet they rather coast using their worked-in parachute, the patagium, which is a layer that extends from wrist to lower leg and resembles a hang lightweight plane. Their long tail goes about as a stabilizer and a brake, while they utilize their appendages for course. Flying squirrels coast from one tree to another inside woodlands, to guarantee they dodge the hunters which involve the backwoods floor. They can float from somewhere in the range of 40 to 150 meters. Recently, unusually, 7 individuals were captured and charged in an coordinated expound venture to pirate flying squirrels in Florida with the end goal of auctioning them off as outlandish pets. 7. 3. Gliding insects. Floating ants, Cephalates atratus. The breathtaking thing about skimming insects is they are wingless, yet they have dominated a method of flight. These arboreal creepy crawlies have advanced to coordinate their tumble from trees. The wonder of skimming insects is generally newfound, with University of California scientists composing a paper on them in 2005. Given their tree-bound presence, these insects have figured out how to discover their way back to their unique tree, in the event that they fall, utilizing obvious signals. Researcher considered them to find that they can turn 180 degrees noticeable all around. Coasting insects come into tree trunks in reverse, hitting them with their back legs. Regularly they bob off. It's assessed there's a 85% achievement pace of arriving on a similar tree trunk. College of Texas bug biologist Stephen P. Yanovic said, "In Amazon woodlands, you truly don't have any desire to drop out of your tree and in the water, since then you're unquestionably dead. That is the thing that I believe is the major transformative driving instrument behind the behavior." 8. 2. Chinese flying frog. Coasting leaf frogs, Planet Earth, BBC Earth. Frequently otherwise called Blandford's whipping frog, huge tree frog or Denny's whipping frog, these frogs are a moderately huge tree-abiding species. Notwithstanding their size, they're ready to accomplish trip by floating between trees. They do this with exceptional webbed feet and hands that act like parachutes, empowering them to deal with a steady descending airborne inclination. English naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace unearthed these frogs in the rainforests of Borneo in 1869 and expressed, "The toes are long and completely webbed to their actual limit, so when extended they offered a surface a lot bigger than that of the body." Skimming is an energy-proficient method of transport for these frogs, who don't invest a lot of time on the ground or in water. Truth be told, they just truly descend for reproducing. Their arboreal conduct has adjusted their body unfathomably, with noticeable contrasts to an ordinary frog. 9. 1. Mobulas. Mobula rays awkward dive to pull in a mate. Shark, Episode 2 Preview, BBC One. There's mostly secret about these beams, altogether known as fallen angel beams. Be that as it may, what they are known for is their awkward dives. Researchers some of the time allude to them as sea tumblers. These fish look like most beams, with enormous wing-like blades. They're solid swimmers, generally in schools, and they utilize that ability to push themselves out of the water, regularly flipping or spinning noticeable all around, prior to slumping once more into the water. Ordinarily they can just get around 2 meters out of the water, so it's not actually full flight, yet it is remarkably inquisitive conduct meanwhile. This odd movement is one that researchers haven't had the option to completely clarify, despite the fact that there is a hypothesis it's a method to stand apart from the group inside the school and pull in a mate. It is primarily guys who leap out of the water, despite the fact that females do join.